Hello. Welcome. Hello, homie. Hello, Corey. Hello, Nico. So you might notice that I am on, one second, that I am on the big screen right now. And that is because, I interrupt our regular, you hate it here? Okay, well, I'm sorry. You might notice you're on drugs. Well, um, so I'll see how much time I want to like spend on this, but as you probably can't see because of my background, I was like, I wonder if I can like fix the horns that I have to my headset. So I feel like this is like not the wrong idea, but I don't know if it's the right idea. So I had a couple other things I wanted to try, and I figured you guys could watch me try. Super glue. I did consider that. I was like, I don't know if I want to go straight to glue, so my desk is a little bit of a state right now. Because I initially was like, they're initially on like an elastic band, and I was like, okay, maybe I can like lace that around, and oh, that sucks. I'll have a good lesson, Miss Charlotte. Thank you for saying hello. You can at least watch me fiddle around a little bit. Hey, Joker. Also, sorry, hi, Raga. Gonna get pizza. That sounds like a good idea. Good teaching kids. So, okay. For where I am, hi. Rosie is just like, you have many strings up here that I am I'm interested in. You? I know. It's all very interesting. As I said, maybe I will fudge around with this until like like 4:30-ish maybe, and then I will endeavor to I mean, I'm sure that I'm sure that 50-year-old rights lawyer is somebody's kid, presumably. So for this one, I was gonna try and see if I could use like an elastic instead of the embroidery thread. And then my other idea that I had to fix it, I have some cute nails that are not relevant to this, but they have these kind of like sticky adhesive things inside. So I was like, maybe that could work. The only problem is, and this is a little bit of like, I said, this is a little bit of a test run because like the shape of the horns are not like flush with my headset. So before I go and super glue anything, I feel like I would need to reshape them a bit. Hi, how you doing? Okay, Rosie, you're making me nervous. Don't do it. Yeah, that's kind of what I meant, Miss Charlotte. And just, I might be able to just like whittle, whittle them as one does. But I feel like I might need to do something a little bit more involved for that. Like, I don't know if I have the necessary tools to do that. Okay. I would say, I mean, I have like my sewing kit here. I would say, in theory, sewing could be on that list, but I would not be too offended if somebody wanted to contest that. Hello, Siobhan. How you doing? Oh my god. Still no waffle maker. Okay, so now I have like a little thing here. Also, I realized that my screen is rather dark, so just like seeing anything right now is kind of a challenge. Fern, I need you to chill. Ay, 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 ay. One more week. Fern, okay. Yes, because what I need is another animal up on my desk. That is what this craft is missing. What do you think, Fred? What do you think? Fred's like, I don't know, don't look at me. You don't get summer vacation. Sadly, we grown-ups don't get summer vacation, but that do be how it is. That's nice. If you smell smoke, it's just my brain trying to figure this out. Because, like, I feel like this could be, like, part of the solution, but I don't know that's all of it. Hi, baby. How you doing? How's it going? So, hey, what's going on? 3 months. Yeah. On one hand, it's nice in college that you get, like, the extra month, but also it's like, you must work over these 3 months, which is like, ooh. So, I feel like I had slightly more of an idea when I had this thingy. Okay, it's good. Rosie, I see you giving this the looks. It is not for you. Yeah, puppy. You know, we should try and convince her to come to Ontario. And by Ontario, I mean Ottawa. Yeah, it was, oh, that's annoying. Because you definitely can't do the work that you do remotely. Also, happy 420. I feel like the solution lies somewhere between these two options, but neither of them is the one. I guess I can show you the mess on my desk right now. Or at least for now. No. So these are like the little nail adhesive thingies that I don't know. Yes, I know. I don't know if they will do what I want, but hey. So what's going on? Also, somewhat ironically, I have not actually used these to put nails on, but I did think of it, so. as I said, I have not actually used these for nails, so all learning together, I guess. Okay, that is actually kind of sticky. So do I need to? Oh, okay. God damn it. Of course, the thing that I tried last. Okay. Well. I don't want to push my luck too far, but okay. That's it. Okay, if that works. Also, sorry. I'm just gonna clank you guys around a little bit. So you think I'm small? I am slightly above average for a lady. Don't you forget it. Small in spirit. No, I have little. I'm a little guy in spirit. There's a difference. Just a little guy. It's true. Sorry, thread. You try. Rosie's just like, I would take that thread if you don't want it. Okay, let's do the other side. Because apparently this worked, I think. Rosie, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Hey! Don't guard her for going in the box. That's not very nice. Yeah, that's not very nice. Fern! Hey! You! What are you doing? That is not nice. No, she's like, Rosie, who the fuck do you think you are? Laying in the box that I didn't want. Poor Fern. I mean, Rosie. John Boy, what's your name? So you get to see Fern. Somewhat. She's literally just laying in the box down beside the desk. Back in my clothes. That is probably a good idea. I also have clothes that are both from a recent wash and then a further back washing that needs to be put away. She loves her boxes, it's true. This is true, but also Fern likes to be like comfy cozy. Get in there, we're getting there. I have 3 minutes remaining on the time I allotted myself. On one hand, I am glad that that was kind of easy, but also I am somewhat disgruntled that the solution was so easy. I like that you can barely even see it because my background's so busy, but it has been done. I'll see how I feel about it. Okay, you're like, we know in our hearts it's good. It's like, thanks, Nico. Oh, also because of using the stick-on thingies. Goodbye, Miss Charlotte. Have a good lesson. That looks really good. Thank you. Okay, and now to tuck away all of these elastic bands because Rosie is going to get them. It's like a chew hole in my bag. I can't imagine how that happened. Rosie's gonna do it again. Alright, so now that we've completed that extreme exciting portion of my stream, I am at least glad that it kind of worked, as opposed to me just fumbling there and then being like, sorry y'all. Also, is the music very loud compared to my audio? Who bit the bags? That was kind of what I was getting at, of like, I wonder who. Music sounds good, okay. It sounds a little loud to me, but if it is good on your guys' end. Also, I will admit that, as I said, I haven't actually tried using that glue stuff, or the like little stickers to stick on acrylics with, and I'm kind of like, it's a bit loud. Okay, that's okay. I can turn it down a little more because it sounds a little loud to me. How's that? I think that sounds less intense to me. Also, if you guys would like to see, so these are some of the like El Cheapo nails that I had in my cupboard. Mostly I got it for the ghost. Halloween, probably like from the dollar store. That's how you know it's the good stuff. Oh. I actually had another pair of nails that I'm like, these are kind of cute. I am somewhat curious to try and like just put on a set, but I won't do it right now, obviously. These ones, what is special about them? Oh, these ones that I have are just like little black kind of like short nails, but they have like a matte versus shiny black on black French tip, and also a cat pattern on it. Thank you, Nico. As I said, of course you can only kind of see them because my mirror is busy, but... Alright, let's come back over to actual work. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. It's not a cami dress, it's kind of more like a tie-dye pattern, but I can appreciate why you would say that. I don't think I own any camo. I could be wrong. It's not really my vibe. Okay. So let me format my references here. So this is going back to that job with the like... Sorry, 1 second. Pets have natural camouflage. It is true. God. Sorry. So there was going to be some rather sexy ladies on the screen. Well, fortunately for you, because of the pace that I work at, even if you have not watched or we haven't caught up in a while, you are probably not too far off of what I am working on. So this is a 3-issue miniseries that... Oh! Andy Vortex YT. Thank you. Hey, Andy. Also, I got a follow Aries ET37 on YouTube, and it actually showed here, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure why. That's like the first time it showed it. Is it rabbit season? So this maybe muddles the design idea that I had previously. But she is supposed to be like in like an announcer kind of like MC outfit. So like a sexy capybara's twerk there. I did not. I can't. So that's a fun fact. Also, I found this like ringleader costume that is cute, but I feel like just going back and reading the script that was not quite the vibe, basically. And I also don't want her costume to look like too like good or like pricey at this point. So wombats, okay. Gosh, I was gonna say capybaras would never. Also, who is a capybara's enemy? Let's be real. So yes, as I said, I might need to rework some of this. Man is, oh, yes. Capybara's only natural enemy, man. Hello, Andy. Thank you for the follow. How you doing? You missed the extremely high octane, exciting crafting portion of my stream, and now I'm doing some comic inks. And I'm probably gonna be doing that for the next X hours, so yeah. Yeah, also I had a situation where like I wasn't able to paint bucket in here, and I'm not sure why. So that's just kind of annoying. Wombats put on water. Wombats also look like cute little guys, but I guess I could believe that. I mean, I believe that wombats have got their own thing going on, and just from the point of view of them pooping cubes. Oh, also, exactly. Working on the funny pages. These are very serious. Thank you very much. And I am doing okay. Mostly I'm like, I gotta get this shit done. So, both stressing and trying not to stress, because I know that is not really conducive to doing stuff. But where are you? Alright, I'm gonna bring back my sexy lady. Hold on. Because I know what this character looks like. They try. Damn wombats. I feel like I've seen that. It's a Kickstarter for it. They're like, we gotta prove. That was us drawing the laying out the 5th page the other day. I guess it was several days ago at this point, but okay. So, I guess she could still have a hat. Why is he holding the poo? Godspeed, Shabbat. And think of how easy it would be to hold it too, on account of it being a square. To have and to hold. Wow. Corey, that is my platonic wife. You be nice to her. Dollar bill. That's yucky. Well, we're old. What do you want from us? Tell her to get younger. She's older than me, so much older. Have you considered getting older yourself, maybe? Gonna get younger, die trying. So work on it. Nah. I know that you're mostly Josh and Corey, but also it is something that I do feel like, especially for lady type people, that like it is it is a tactic to sort of have us worry about things that we cannot really control. And just like, because when you're worrying about how to make it so that you're not getting like natural wrinkles and stuff like that, you have less resources and energy to worry about stuff that is not that. That is okay if you want to. I don't know. On one hand, on a personal level, it is okay if you want to spend time on certain things, but also just the acknowledgement of like, is there a systemic pressure to spend that energy, I guess. No, I don't disagree. And again, it is more that sort of like cultural pressure of being like, oh, well, you know, you are showing age in this way, or like blah, blah, blah. That there's just so many angles to be anxious or self-conscious about. And the amount of energy that people can spend on that is just astronomical sometimes. Girl, I'm not feeling your hair here. I don't know. Off to a good start. All that is to say that being able to get older is a privilege, and I don't think that people should be obsessed with spending time and money on achieving something that is like not sustainable slash kind of just prolonging the inevitable thing that is not even necessarily a bad thing. So I'm struggling. I don't know. I think it is our generational duty to take offense at other generations' slang, so. Hey, Licha. You don't want to be 20, oh my god. Fire, I feel like that is somewhat the opposite of what I'm saying, but because I am sorry, but I have a hard time imagining a future where people can get cybernetic modifications slash implants that doesn't just end up like repo, the genetic sales, or the genetic opera. Hell, everyone. It's a mood. It's too late. Stand by it. Yeah, I would not want, I mean, I'm not the person who is super interested in a cyberpunk future, I guess, whatever that means. But also, I'm especially not interested in the idea of getting, like, implants and stuff that could possibly be taken away from me if I cannot financially keep up with a payment. Nah. About your age timeline? You have mentioned before that the only old age you're interested in is 69, so. I wish you the best of luck in achieving your timeline. I do not know how you'll do it, but good luck. Hi, Bucket. Ban that ad. I was so scared. That lady was in the nip. It's a little Father Ted reference for probably nobody else in this chat, but I gotta make it anyways. Yay! That is just one of those like shows that I feel like me and my friend group have a lot of like quotes in our lexicon from it, but then to be like, well, it's from like this like Irish show from like the 90s about several priests, and yeah. Hello. That is appropriate for my title today. I was trying to get my nephews when I was visiting that I kept saying that to them, then I'm just like, hello, what's all this then? And then they would say it back. I'm gonna live until I die, I figure. Welcome back, Shivad. Well, that sounds like good luck for you then, because I'm not your aunt. Don't really have any aunts. Well, I'm the best aunt, so best of the best. Oh, wait, I lost one of my girls. Don't do it, it's a trap. Yeah. I'm an aunt. Also, in my family, I don't see a ton of my extended family slash I don't have a huge extended family, but getting to go and see, just call him Kevin. I assume his name is Kevin. Honestly, I could see Corey just nicknaming somebody not their name, and then just like yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that a thing in some cultures where it's like you kind of you have your like Christian legal name, and then like in your family you'll have like a nickname that is completely different from it. Yeah, I've heard of that Joker. I feel like that's kind of similar in your family, Shavad. So I don't know if is that also like a Caribbean thing, or is that like you're like my family's just special. I like the name Sebastian. I know. Yeah. Tell us about it, Corey. Your story, that is. Not back. Are we back? Now are we back? Yes, I deliberately disconnected my internet so that I could be like, Yes. Tell us your story. Oh, it's a snake. I was like looking at that emoji. I thought it was like a hand going like this and then hey popping up in it like hey. I don't know if that's more or less normal than a snake coming in and saying hey. Yeah, how have you been, Lucho? I know I was away last week. I feel like you've been busy for a few streams. Am I crazy? I feel like it's been a while since everyone was like, Lucho, which is generally how I gauge who is in attendance and who isn't. Grandpa was apparently really good at making nicknames called... Uh-oh. Okay. Maybe it was only... As I said, I realized that there's been... He called you Princess. Do you still accept that nickname, or have you requested a different one be instated? I know that the application process to have a familial nickname changed is very intense. He's dead. Oh, well, okay. I'm sorry about that. God damn it, Corey. Is that... What does it mean? I say that with a bit of hesitance, though. Okay. Okay, why is Forders? What? That's not... Okay, that's legitimately not even like a... I suspect that Joker was making a Nacho Libre reference, or I'm just dumb. So, in which case, disregard. As I said, I might be off mark. I admittedly thought about that when I initially saw your username, but that is because that was a formative movie when I was younger, for better or worse. Okay. Well, I could very well be mistaken, so I apologize for that. Isn't it a feminine versus masculine form? Is there a gender neutral version of gringo / gringo? That's the important question. Yeah, see, I knew that. Yeah, you were mentioning that you were hanging out with somebody, so that's great. Oh, right, that was the whole thing with puppy and stuff, right? He'll be like, hello, Lucha's girlfriend. Could be Lucha. Lucha 94CL. Oh my god. Automod trying so hard to protect the French. Just seeing the thing in chat of being like, Princess Gem added permitted term, I hate French. I guess French, not the French. Hold on. Hold on. The best? Oh, tell you. Okay. I mean, this is the place to do it, right? Sorry, I'm not being indecisive. You got a girlfriend. We used to joke when I was younger, and kind of still now, that would be like the only way we were get a boyfriend, or I guess significant other, was if they fell into our, or came into our house with a blindfold on and found their way into like our bedroom where we were doing nothing slash dorky things. And then that was the only way I'd get a boyfriend. And I was like, thanks, Mom. Instead of, oh, right? I have no clue. Oh, Rosie. That would also be a bonus. I don't know if I like your eyebrow. No. I would argue that what I described is kind of the opposite, actually. But yes, I'm gonna. Oh my god, what is it? Cask of Montiago? What is that? What is that Edgar Allan Poe story called? Where they lure people into the thing and then brick them up inside of their wine cellar. I had approximate knowledge of what it was. I'm feeling indecisive about this eyebrow. It is true, but I mean, I would argue that in those situations, fictional or real life, the element of just being like, a lot of the time, those asshole people have the self-esteem to approach people. And sometimes that is kind of the large factor. That is also. There you go. Gonna make my own movie. Blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the movie. Did I? I did not. I was just saying that people with that sort of attitude are often, I mean, to be disparaging, they perhaps have an elevated sense of ego that they have not earned personality-wise, and they are able to get people to go along with them, at least long enough to sort of like trap them in a relationship. So than a play or a musical. True. And if anything, Corey, I'm encouraging you to be brave and ask as I confront people. Hey, you! I like you. Do something about it. Corey, sometimes I feel like you're my sim. I'm gonna tell you to go do, top up your need bars. Okay, so I said I want her costume, whereas for boys it's really easy because there's one weird trick that works every time if you want to get some boys. That is to just have lots of milkshakes. It will bring all the boys to the yard. I was piggybacking on oh god. I was piggybacking on not my own joke, but I felt like I had to. You're pretty model away. Next time, try doing it with a milkshake and see how they respond. Or nuggies. Since apparently that is a So for the like costumes, I feel like this is like my favorite one. I don't know if it looks too like nice. Yes, nuggies. I mean, that wouldn't work for me, but instead of, it's true. Have you tried going to clubs less and going to chicken nugget locations more? I mean, it could be a situation that they are in a somewhat open dynamic or blah blah blah. But I think that is also fair for you to be like, do I want to participate in a dynamic like that? Maybe, maybe not. So, if you're like, it is valid to be like, this just feels complicated and I'm not really feeling it. Yeah. Okay, so this is another thing that I was overthinking looking at these costume options, that I was like, so she's supposed to be like the MC at a club during like a manly stripping time slot. So like, would she have something like kind of like sluttier? Or like, would she be like more covered up because she's not the main attraction, I guess? I don't know. I agree with that bucket. I think that some people do it and are happy and like thriving doing it, but I think there's not a small amount of people who kind of use it to abuse power and like kind of hurt their partners. So I would not say that it is for everybody or that everybody should be doing it. But also, it's not my business, so. Okay. If she's not hosting. My god. I swear that I need ADHD to even marginally keep up with chat. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna get rid of the one that I thought was cute. Sorry, we're looking at... Oh. This is for that private dance, mini-series that we're doing here. So she is like, kind of like the announcer for these sexy guys coming on the stage. And here's Fran. Fran is not a sexy male stripper, but she is a beautiful puppy. Beautiful angel. Sweet dove. The baby. Sweetheart, you're such a good girl. Did you want to hop down? What do you want to do, baby girl? What do you want to do? I would ship her in a private jet, first class. I would not. I wouldn't ship her for $1 million. To that Shavad, I say, I have no comments. 2 million, not even 2 million. Admittedly, it does not. This sort of show does not interest me all that much. Although I guess that's the sort of thing of like, okay, so you say. Yes. 3 million. If somebody kills Elon Musk. Sorry. Is somebody unalive? If a tragic accident were to befall. Yeah, I think another thing with like that sort of like relationship dynamic that kind of comes with age, and this is obviously not like a given that this is how people develop, but I think you reach a point where like when you're younger, you don't necessarily have this sort of like self-esteem / like confidence in a partner or like people liking you if it is not like really like direct and like closed off. So like once you get a little bit older and have more experience, and again, this does not happen necessarily for everyone just because they are not like a teenager anymore, but I feel like it is kind of easier to be more like comfortable in yourself and being like, I don't need that reassurance from an external place to feel like I'm good enough. So if somebody else thinks that you're good enough, that's just cherry on top. I am not in this situation myself, but I feel like something that I kind of did think about, just like befriending people who were in like poly relationships and stuff like that, is like, I think a good lesson that even if you are somebody who is only interested in like doing monogamous relationships is to be able to foster that confidence of my relationship with X person, because it could be like your friend, it could be your partner, it could be a family member, is like your relationship and interactions with a person does not have to be like based on their interactions with other people, if that makes sense. Like if somebody has a friend, it doesn't mean you're not their friend, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that that is just a good thing to like kind of teach yourself and believe it. Naruto voice. Because that is something that I think helped me deal with like some sort of jealous feelings, because I felt like, you know, somebody was seeking other interactions or experiences because I was not good enough, as opposed to like, you know, as opposed to the thing of like, it's okay that you are not everything to any one person, you know, that they are getting support and care and experiences from people who are not just you, but that they still choose to have experiences and things with you. Also, hello, Big Smith. Not specifically, but you know, I am separated after being with somebody for almost 15 years, so you know. Friend, you are making my controls that difficult. Yeah, I also feel like this is, because I was kind of, I know that it is something that's sort of like, you know, is it kind of a pseudoscience? Is it actually like, how actually practical is it to use in situations of like relationship dynamics and like friction in relationships? But I feel like in my long-term relationship, I had a very anxious attachment style. Like I was very insecurely attached, and I can't say I'm 100% not anymore, but I feel like I definitely feel much more like, you know, I am okay to have people in my life that I like and care about and like give affection, and you know, but also like it's okay if I mean, I think if I didn't have anybody, then that would be not great, but you know, it is also okay if like I don't have somebody doing X, Y, or Z for me, because I can do it myself. Oh, what are you doing? Why are you pressing buttons? I don't even know what that button was. Zed, yes, yes, yes. Ooh. And yes, I agree with that bucket, that there is, oh my god, okay, look here, right there, right down there. She's like, no. Yeah, that you should sort of romanticize or like kind of put on a pedestal your non-sexual / romantic relationships as well. And when I say romanticize in this case, I mean sort of being like, I don't know, just having a sort of like sense of whimsy about the things that you get to do with your friends and you like to do with your friends. Maybe stop letting that. That seems like a very black and white thing to say. You want to go down? Ready? Whee! Yes, I agree with that too, Bucket. Just the thing of like, are you romanticizing / in love with a specific person who, you know, hopefully returns your feelings, or is it a thing that you are just romanticizing the idea of like being in a partnership? Uh, so then you might end up in situations where you're perhaps like picking partners who are not really a good fit for you, or perhaps giving somebody too many chances when they are like treating you badly because you're just like, you so need that type of love. Shit's complicated, it's true, but I think learning how to like communicate in your relationships, this is big hot takes, so hold on there, but like, you know, the better that you can communicate and sort of be like either bringing up a conflict or like, you know, having hard discussions is not the end of your friendship or like relationship with somebody, and just sort of being like, how do we continue to navigate things as we have new experiences or like get to know each other better. You're asking questions. I mean, I can also kind of see the thing of like, if someone's like, you know, having the opinion, and if they perhaps really emotionally do like feel it, of being like, you know, if you don't love someone forever, then you don't love them, because that, I mean, that puts a lot of pressure on you, and that sounds like somebody who perhaps has like relationship trauma, either like in their own lives or maybe like in their parents' relationship and stuff like that, because it, when things aren't good anymore, you kind of, you'll either sort of be holding on to the things that were good moments and trying to use it to justify why in the present, you know, and or like when you get to the point that you're like, this is done, I don't love them, of being like, you don't want to really think about the good times because you're like, oh no, it was bad, this was all bad, when it's usually like a little bit of both, you know? Things can be true at the same time. Sometimes they might have all been shit, you know? But yeah. Yeah, and there's no like one way to have relationships with people, or like something that works for you might not work for like other people that you know, or like vice versa. But I think it can also seem complicated because it's just kind of like, it is a thing where you're like, well, when you're older, this will maybe make more sense, but mostly it's just an experience thing, I think. I sleep around. Yeah. I'll talk you through it. I know I'm being slow with this panel. And if you are. Let's just get down to the brass tacks. Nobody knows about anything. Everyone is just flailing around, and we pretend that we're not, because it is not reassuring when people with large amounts of power and money don't know what they're doing or what is going on. Yeah. I think the reality is that you're I think it is hard when you're young, but just when you're like having firsts in your life, that is like you can't I don't know how much you can like guarantee or like safeguard situations of being like I will not have an awkward experience, you know. Like I think that's sort of like inevitable for like certain things because they are inherently awkward things. And sometimes you just gotta be like, well, that wasn't my best work. Let's try again next time. And also, I think that it is not wrong for a person if they're like, I feel kind of nervous and I feel like I would want reassurance from somebody that I was having that interaction with, you know? That they wouldn't just be like, oh, look at you, a spineless virgin beta. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that that is an unreasonable thing to be like, to ask and like, or for somebody to give you as a respect thing. Not specifically, no. Oh, a virgin theta. My mistake. Apologies. Sex education club. America's wild. Hold on. Am I talking shit? No. God damn it. I'm not doing anything. I mean, I'm trying to work. The most embarrassing dream ever. Oh, I see. Okay. I was like, so wait, was the sex ed club a dream? But the going and doing the devil's tangle at it was the dream. Okay. I can imagine that being kind of awkward to just go with like possibly your classmates that then you might like see them elsewhere and be like but I do not think that that is inherently a bad idea. So what now? This might be getting too fancy. It's true. I have never in my life heard about an erection. What is an erection? Don't tell me. I'm joking. Man talk. It's just 0 to 11 there, Corey. You know, as a non-American, I used to think that the scene from Mean Girls, where they're just like, sex ed is like, if you have sex, you will get pregnant and you will die. I was like, haha, funny. And it's less funny now that I'm like, oh, that's just kind of like how it is. And to catch all in Pokemon. Hey, I can be part of that conversation. Oh my god. If you get the clap, you snap, snap. Like. Oh, lady. I am sure that your school had record low rates of the clap that year. I also wasn't sure if like you snap meant like you snap and like had like a mental episode. The clap, chlamydia. I feel like I don't know if we like use that slang so much anymore, but it was like used to be pretty normal slang for it. I mean, oh, well, shows what I know. I don't know any, especially about the. Connor only comes on later in the stream when he does show up. Is that why he's gone? No, I know. God. For anybody who's slightly newer to the stream, one of the viewers who used to show up a bit more often, but again, my concept of time and people showing up is maybe not that good. His username is like his first and his last name, but when I saw it at a glance in my like little like menu thing, I definitely read it as Conneria, like a pun on gonorrhea. And so then when I found out that it was actually his name and not that at all, I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Thank you. They're Fern. That's why they're so good. It's Fern. The little guy that I picked up. It's my girl. Fern-tastic. And that one's me. I feel like the Fern ones are cooler, but that's true in real life too, so. The people who did not put out waffles. I say you should just get your own waffle maker, but I assume you're not allowed to have, like, cooking things in your dorm, which, fair enough. Nar. Oh god. Could you bring your own bed? I mean that in the most contextual, not weird way at all. Also, I realize that you probably don't have, like, ingredients necessarily in your dorm, but I will counter with saying, like, you can use, like, pancake mix to make waffles and stuff like that, so you don't really need ingredients. It's pretty says it's true. It's like, if you go to, like, a dollar store or something, yeah. It is quite cheap. It's not $0, but flowers and eggs and hat. Yes, the hat is very important. kind of didn't taste me. They don't have like mix. It's usually like a dry mix. It's not like it's not a wet batter. Yeah, F in the chat. Living in America right now, honestly. End of the no free batter. Oh, from South Africa. My ex and in connection to that, his family are Afrikaans, so I actually have a little bit of knowledge about South Africa. Well, alrighty then. That's all the fun South Africa facts I have, I guess. What does that mean? I was not the sort of daughter-in-law who tried to learn the language. My bene. Can I speak? No, I can't. I learned a bad phrase, though, on Instagram. Yeah. It's the one that basically means, like, like, go back in your mom's punani. Yeah. Maybe. That doesn't look like Afrikaans spelling to me, but as I said, I don't know. So, I could be wrong. Not enough Y's in it. Maybe it is pronounced phonetically, like. Sorry for laughing. No sister intentions, no sorry. Yeah. I have heard some of that from the perspective of somebody who is a like Dutch descendant South African family. So yeah, I do not know if that is your situation, but that is to say that their recounting of everything that happened with yeah, their recounting of like everything with like Nelson Mandela and stuff like that was kind of different from what I had learned in like school and stuff, so I was like, I'm sorry, I gotta do it, I gotta give her a little hat. Damn. That's crazy. 'Cause like, y'all had all apartheid. Sorry, that's I mean, do not get me wrong. I think that America wins a lot of awards that you probably don't want to win for just crimes against people. But I also have heard that South Africa is also pretty bad for like racism and like separatism between people. So having somebody from South Africa say that is kind of intense. Yes. I would also argue that there's sort of less so in like just global culture now, but I feel like when I was younger, there was more of a sort of like narrative of being like, well, you know, we might have such and such problem, but we're not nearly as bad as X people or country or region or blah blah blah. It's like, well, you can have your own unique flavor of not okay. You know, it's not like if you're to be like, well, somebody else is worse than us, so therefore we're not bad. It's like, perhaps things could be bad at the same time, maybe. Just like on my way to get that pattern. Oh, see. I also might have remarked on this last time if you had mentioned that you were from South Africa, but I think you have the distinction of being the first person in chat who is like from South Africa / from the continent, so that is your shiny little sticker that you can have if you want. Interesting. Yes. I assume you mean yourself, Shavada, not like someone's remains that you need to dispose of discreetly. I feel like drawing it to the like dark techno club music was helpful last time, but apparently it's too scary. Go get that D. That vitamin D. Do I like true crime pods? Yes and no. I do enjoy like true true crime accounts and stuff like that. But I didn't ever really get into the yes, isn't it? Or milk. Okay, see, I'm not crazy. And my D joke was appropriate. Yeah, I didn't really get into like when there was like everyone was like, I'm a true crime podcast girly. Because I don't necessarily like, obviously if people don't talk about stuff, then you know I wouldn't know about it. But I also think that there's kind of a threshold of being like, I never liked where people would be like, welcome to this podcast. We're going to talk about like how like someone was brutally like assaulted and murdered and like their body was left to rot in like a sewage plant or like blah blah blah. And then they're like, so anyways, here's our sponsor. Do you need a better mattress? Is like I really didn't like that. Like it was a very good joke. I'm sorry if you missed it. Yeah, so that sort of energy I didn't really jive with, and I felt like, I don't know, you have some level of responsibility, I think, if you choose to like do a genre sort of like project. Don't make me imagine underpants. Underpants on my good Christian podcast. Yeah. Also, I found that there was a podcast that I was kind of into for a bit, where it was like true crime, but also I feel like, but it was also kind of like creepy stories or blah blah blah, like just that kind of thing. But there was one of the stories was like about a missing pair of girls who I believe went missing in like a national park in South America, and just some of the things that like the energy that I myself felt getting of like recounting this thing, because it was like an interesting story, but I was like, yeah, this is kind of fucked up that I'm like treating this like an episode of a show when this is actually like, you know, a real thing that happened to two children of someone. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be half of you. Also, I will say that the people who came out, the like true crime, the like true crime girlies that would be like, and like this was kind of like a subset of like horror fans, so I feel like I kind of saw it more in like in my general ambient circles and stuff like that, or just like being like, you like this horror related thing, I bet you would love to buy like a Ted Bundy shirt. I'm like, no I wouldn't. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if we're still kind of in that era, because like I know like Netflix doing like, you know, stuff on like Jeffrey Dahmer and like Ted Bundy and stuff like that, where again, not that we can't talk about historical things that happened, but I think that like you were kind of saying, the angle that you're giving this information is important, because I have said this before and I will continue to say it, is like serial killers and stuff like that are not like evil geniuses or blah blah blah. A lot of the time they're kind of stupid assholes, and the only reason that they get to be prolific is because they prey on people in society that people don't care about and don't care if they go missing, and you know, and that cops are somehow even less proficient at their jobs than these men are. So the hype nicknames, yeah, or they should give them really like dumb nicknames. Yeah. Yes. Although I guess if you were like the small pee-pee killer, you might assume that it's like, then everybody would be like, oh well, I'm safe. I have a big pee-pee. He's not gonna come for me. So serial killer who has a small wee wee, not who the poopy butt squad. Yeah. Yeah. So I find it interesting, but also just I personally tend to just be cognizant, I guess, of like how I am interacting with like news stories and like true crime sort of events, or just terrible historical things that have happened. Because I don't know if you guys watch, is it Mr. Ballin? Who's the guy who's like, he always has a backwards baseball cap on. Because he does like some kind of like more true crime flavored like stories, but he also does the ones that I find kind of more interesting are sort of like historical freak accidents, I guess. If I can, Jesus Christ, his flavor is good. I'm gonna tell a story that I sort of remember off the top of my head, but just from the point of view of like something that made an impression on me when I heard the story. And this isn't really, I guess you could argue that the criminal aspect of this story was more of like commercial negligence, I guess, or like industrial negligence. But just to be brief with it, basically, back in like turn of the century, early, is it the lady who fell into that thing? The fact that I don't have like one specific story that I think of when you say that says something. No, this was like a sports crowd. This was like early 1900s, I believe, and I think it was for like baseball. And the best thing for dinner today is the lady who fell into the thing. Ooh, that sounds good. And the seating that they had for watching the baseball game. No, Nico, God. They didn't have like enough seating for everybody who actually wanted to come out and watch the game because it was like a really big game, blah blah blah. So the like extra people were like, hey, I know what to do. We're gonna go climb on the roof of this factory. And it was for a smelting factory. And needless to say, it was not, the roof was not really built. This is why I'm like, this is not really like a true crime thing, because I guess you could sort of be like, well, the building should have like had like a more sturdy roof, but also like they weren't expecting like a huge crowd of people to go and like be on it. So, you know, and I guess you could be like, well, it's the people's fault, but what happened to them, I feel like, is sort of like punishment enough, because like they were up on the roof of this smelting plant and the roof collapsed and they fell in to the factory inside, which was operational, and basically like people just like fell into like the kiln and like all of this like molten metal and stuff like that. And and it was just one of those stories that like, I guess part of it was the way that he told it, about like just these sort of like injuries that these people experienced on the way to not being a human meat sack anymore. Bunions. Was just like very interesting, and I'm like, that's that's just horrifying that happened, and you know, the people shouldn't have done that, but at the same time, good God. So I don't know if that's also sort of bad of being like, you know, that just time-wise we're very far removed from that incident happening, that you can kind of be like, wow, you know, it like doesn't feel like a real story that happened. Yeah, industrial like accidents always, they're not my favorite. And yes, they made a grave mistake. I should see if I can find that episode to link you guys in case anybody wants to also hear this traumatizing story. I guess it made an impression on me because listening to the stories, I think Ballin usually does like 3 stories, I think, and usually I find that, like, you know, 2 of them don't really like. I'm just like, okay, and then and then one of the stories I'll be like, damn, that's crazy. Feels very high. I didn't give her earrings in the other one, so I will go back. I feel like that is in chat too often. Nico's trying to throw us off the scent that he is thinking about bunions just all the time. Bunions is a bad word. Should I block it? No. Sometimes people do be having bunions. Such fun facts we learn about each other here on stream. That sounds casual. Hey. That's what I think. I feel like, I don't know if you can genuinely tell someone that they have nice bunions. The code word cannot be testicles because you say it all the time. In this instance, or in general instance, I guess. Oh, if somebody other than Corey says it is the code word. I gotcha. That's my excuse for drawing this somewhat slowly. Was cankles. I feel like bunions has better comedic quality to it. I do not know exactly why. Or cancer. Oh, wasp. I hope that you find it. But yeah, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out, Bucket, and sharing your wisdom on being awkward in relationships and not worrying about it. Also, if when Lucho returns and says the code word, are we just supposed to be like, oh my god, it's Lucho, so cool? Because I feel like pretty genuinely when Lucho joins stream, everyone's like, Lucho! So like, y'all do that anyways. Where's Big Smith? We need to get him back in here for this. Somebody needs to get on the horn and get him. And by that I mean the big yodeling mountain horn. Why does your nose look weird? Is that the A horn? Is that what it's called? So you're like Big Smith. I know we have talked about. I feel like we have summoned Big Smith that way before. It's like, damn, Lucho, those gains. You must be eating a lot of protein powder or a lot of boiled chicken. Maybe both. Hold your nose. I'm about to throw it out the window. Why am I struggling? I looked over just be like, we should just think of like random shit to be like, Lucho, thanks so much for helping with my taxes. I got 5K back. Lucho, thank you for saving my dog from a burning building. You came very far to save them. I still do not like your nose, but I would like to continue. Lucho, I picked the winning horse thanks to you. I'm gonna wire you $1 million. Lucho, thank you for teaching me how to read. Why do I hate your face right now? We got this. Oh my god, it's Lucho. Lucho, we were just talking about you. I just wanted to say thank you for saving my dog from that house fire recently. And for helping me file my taxes and getting back like $1 million. And teaching me how to read. That was really helpful. Hey, I said the burning building one first. You copied me. I mean, to be fair, perhaps Nico be out there not Nico, sorry, Nico. Lucho be out there saving everybody's pets from house fires, maybe. It's just this thing. He's a cool guy like that. Yay! Lucho told me the winning lottery numbers. I have won $1 million. Thanks, Lucho. Sir Bucket. I'm glad that you prevailed over the wasp. Am I still drawing a nose that I think I was drawing when you left? Maybe. That is not important. Flavia, we are joking around a little bit, but also legitimately, Lucho is a good guy from what we know. Whenever he comes into chat, everyone's like, Lucho, and gets really excited. So, sadly, Big Smith is not here to be like, Lucho, but... Got that just for him. It's true. Oh, also, just in case you weren't sure, Lucho does not look like Shinji from Evangelion. Just to confirm it. That's for Jen. I know you didn't pay for the stretch, but you get it anyways. I said you don't look like it. What do you want? Yes, he looks like the one Luchador Pokemon card. Nico's like, I'm pulling out my one Pokemon thing I know about, which is valid. No, I mean, I suppose I must take you don't like men. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with drawing this profile. What was it? Royal Mask Royale? The card. The Pokemon one. I am not super well versed in specific Pokemon cards, so I only know it because you guys showed it to me. I'm about to throw this lady out the window. She's annoying me. I know, I'm annoying myself. I forgot about it. Is it your profile picture on here? I mean, Pokemon is a very hot commodity right now. That's why a pack that should be worth $70 is being scalped and sold for $250. It is your profile picture. Okay. When I am in Streamlabs and stuff, I don't see profile pictures, so I actually forgot about that. On your own old phone. It just sings. Like an angel. At her face. You never heard him sing. You're like, if the option is that he's a very good singer or a very bad singer, either way, it's like a 50-50 chance. I mean, you do like music stuff, right? So I assume that you have some level of singing skill, but I could be wrong. There's no option in something creative like music other than proficient or terrible. In my restless dreams, I hear that song, Lucho singing. I don't know what song it would be. But not like an anime boy played. Wait. Why do I just think of Timmy Turner when you say that? Or, I guess, Ash Ketchum. It's exactly how you sound, like Timmy Turner. How unfortunate. Goku was a small Asian woman? Was he? I mean, I feel like that's not accurate, but I'm not a big Dragon Ball Z fan, so I don't feel like I can be the one to go on that hill. Just put a Oh, sorry, you were making a White Lotus reference. I don't watch that show, but I know that it is kind of a meme right now, so. Well, Southside. White Lotus is a show that I don't actually know what it's about, but as I said, I feel like people were sharing the clip of Sam Rockwell's character explaining how he went to Asia to get like an Asian wife and then realized he just wanted to be an Asian girl. Is that what the quote is? Have a good night. Also, Flavia, if you want to get on Lucha's good side, you should help him or let him do a poll. He loves doing polls. He likes participating in the democratic process. Should Lucha get a sec? I think they've maybe gone on a few dates at this point, but I could be wrong. 5-5. I feel like we have a few short kings in chat. I am not judging anybody. I think especially dudes who are not like, you know, 6 foot plus or blah blah blah. I think that it is a positive thing that they are comfortable. Just like that they have good self-esteem. Yeah, have a good night, Lucho. I am assuming that even though we can't confirm that Flavia is a real person who is listening to all that, assuming that she is, nice to virtually meet you. So, Short Queen, no, that would not be me. There you go. You're the baby of like everyone's house, Corey, I have to say. Oh my god. Nico is so cool. He is such a cool goth guy. He knows all the best moves. He won a dance off recently at the goth club. Oh my god. I feel like I had more in that and then my brain just rebooted. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's a pretty big flex. And that's presumably real, according to what we know. No. Couldn't handle that sort of star power. She's like, damn, I'll never be good enough for this guy. Sorry. Yeah, we'll put on some Olivia Rodrigo. It'll be okay. Yeah, they're like under the bridge kids. Classic. I feel like they're kind of more like industrial, like kind of rave maybe. Because when you like, if you're imagining like goth dancing, you can also imagine the emo / goth kids from South Park dancing. Did it work? She has little wristy things. No. Clearly, you didn't do it hard enough. It's true. I mean, no, my ex-husband is definitely not a goth. Although to be fair, when we first got together, and for many years, I guess I also wasn't really that aesthetic, but... I would say, if anything, we were more like those memes of like the goth girl slash vamp wifey plus like lumberjack husband. Although he wasn't like beardy plaid shirt guy, but gothic khaki. Yeah, have a good therapy session, and make sure to mention, oh my god, what is it? Dude, the fucking Oreos. Oh my god. And now, if you guys don't remember that, that is going to sound completely unhinged, but I just assume now every time that you mention you're going to therapy, you have to bring it up. He wasn't looking. No, he was not. More just that he was like a very like crafty, like handy sort of person. This is Dutchman. Also, I definitely read that at first Joker as he doesn't look like a paper towel, which I think I can pretty confidently say that he didn't look like a paper towel, no. The most manly man. Was he looking like Bob Ross? No, he wasn't like hairy that way. I don't know. When Game of Thrones was popular and everybody didn't hate it, he got told a lot that he looked like Jon Snow. So, and I don't know, I could see it, but then everybody hated the show, so he stopped getting those remarks, which is probably also okay. The South African rugby team. Is it completely made up of beefy Dutch descendant Afrikaans? Yeah, it got weird when it turned out that she was his aunt, though, and you kind of didn't want that. Even Elizabeth. To be fair, I feel like anybody who plays like rugby as a sport, and especially in a professional capacity, you gotta be a tank, whether you're a big tank or a little tank. Like, yeah, we actually had a rugby team at my high school when I was younger. I feel like that was kind of like the contact sport that we actually had a team for, because we didn't have like a football team or a hockey team. Yes. Stop giving me ads. I thought you had a subscription, Corey. What happened? Soccer, cricket. Yeah, no. For whatever reason, rugby. I assume because it's like the overhead cost of like having a rugby team compared to like, especially like compared to like a hockey team, is much lower. But I was chess club champion. I need a fucking dork over here. Well, I was not part of any sport teams, chess or rugby, so I can judge all I want, while also not being able to judge at all. I was head of the club of stealing cigarettes from teachers. I mean, I feel like you would probably have a few people who would want to join that. Oh my god. This panel looks like duty. It's all good though. Are you back from jail, Corey? What happened to your subscription? I thought you got a membership. Did it run out? Guess who's back? Back again. Corey's back. She had to watch ads. They had to watch ads. Wow. Yeah, my like teen years were like more like the 2010s. Well, I graduated high school in wow, 2008. So I guess the like mid-noughts into the 2010s. You don't get it back till the 14th. That sucks. I am sorry. Graduated. Corey, stop being so baby. Stop being born so long after everything that I've done. Oh my god. Big Smith! Lucho came by and introduced us to the girl that he's seeing, and we all had to say things that were cool about Lucho, and you weren't here. We tried to call you. We tried getting on the A4 or whatever the fuck it's called. I was born and you graduated. Well, I was not 3 in 2008, so that's probably what made the difference. Uncle Bucky. You'll have to retroactively. Why are we talking? So, like, I graduated college in 2012. Like, I have a hard time even, like, when I think about, like, a year, I'm like, when was it? What? Y'all so D? Yeah. D's nuts? I don't know. I don't know who that is a dig on. It might have been on myself, but you know what? I had to do it. Joker, were you here on Monday? Because I showed some youthful pictures from when I was in high school, because I was not a cool... A, I was not cool. B, I was not goth. I did have, like, that, dorkily obsessed, like, Wiccan phase when I was a kid. And... yeah, no. I thought you were like, she was not pretty. I'm like, god damn it, show up. I'm allowed to roast myself. You're not allowed. Yes. No, I was definitely not aesthetic when I was younger. Lord love me. But I would also argue that, like, just like shopping and stuff like that, back in the early aughts, finding clothes that fit me, because I have been my adult height since grade 7. And, like, you know, I was like 110 pounds for most of my teenage years. So finding things that fit me was impossible, and finding cute things that I could afford that fit me was also very hard. So it's true. Well, like, because nowadays it's so easy that you can be like, you know, we weren't even really at the time period where it was like actually publicly or like culturally acceptable to wear leggings as pants. So like I couldn't even like go that route of like finding something that would fit me for being a tall noodle lady. Yeah. Kids these days, they have it so easy with online shopping and shit. Also, I don't think that this is necessarily a good thing, but I feel like also clothes and stuff was just like more expensive overall back then. So like, you know, if you wanted to like, you couldn't get like a haul of like $5 shirts, like you can now, ordering off of like Shein and stuff like that. So yes, that was also a thing, Joker, that I feel like we didn't, from the word go, have the technology for the not see-through leggings, which was unfortunate. Oh God, yeah. Kids who are like, we're bringing back low-rise jeans. It's like, y'all have fun with it. Like, even when I was like skinny little noodle kid, I was like, and Automod didn't flag any of that. I mean, I generally live by the philosophy of like, I think that I try to treat everyone with respect from the word go, but you do not automatically continue to get respect if you do not give it back to me or do not, like, you know. Oh God. So, yes. So on one hand, you know, if you're older or more experienced than me or blah blah blah, then you do get respect. But because I give everybody like respect and like human decency, and you having XYZ that I don't does not guarantee that you will continue to get respect if you are a dickwad, you know? Boundaries. Boundaries. It's true. I feel like I wore like flared jeans a lot when I was younger, and like maybe tie-dye. I remember having a particularly heinous tie-dye that I did myself as part of a family crafting activity that kind of came out as being shades of brown. And not in like a nice orangey way. But yeah. Bell bottoms. I mean, I kind of like live in flare pants now, so except they're like yoga pants. Do I have? I think I have like one pair of flare jeans, and I don't know how I feel about them. But back in the day, I would wear that, and they looked really cool because, as I said, finding like pants and stuff that fit me was really easy, and it didn't turn into flood pants where, you know, I'd have like 2 inches of ankle or shin visible between my bell-bottom jeans and my like track socks, and still do. What are those? That's also something with the skinny jeans that I'm like, or just like skinny pants in general, that I know that like the younger generation have been very like, you can tell someone's a millennial or blah 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 because they wear skinny jeans. And I mean, my opinion for the most part is kind of like, yeah, but like trends are trends, and like especially for like cuts like that or like styles of shoes and stuff, I feel like it is like very generational. But I'm like, y'all can wear baggy pants and stuff like that, but I like how skinny things look, so I'm just gonna keep wearing them. I am also somebody who has held on to like tucking shirts into my high-waisted things for like a long time. And I'm not giving it up because I like it. Feel like that is a child thing / shiny brain thing, Corey. That whole thing of just like wanting to know. And I do understand from the point of view of like when you're an adult in like a role that you're dealing with children a lot, whether it's like as a teacher or like as a parent or whatever, that like you get to the point where you just, everything is a question and you're like, I don't want to explain. You know, this isn't something that I can perhaps conceptually explain to you as to like why math works the way it does. I can just tell you how the system that we use, you know. Um, what's my current style? I mean, well, sorry. I mean, I feel like if anything, I would probably identify with like being kind of like whimsy goth, I guess, because I don't feel like I can full on claim goth. I don't think that's accurate, but I think I can say whimsy goth. I'm full of whimsy. God damn it. Yeah, I generally see like education sort of situations like that is difficult because at the end of the day, I think both like people who are like in the role of teachers and stuff like that, I think that whether they are suited or not suited for the job, they're extremely like under supported by the school system and like the rules within the school system. So like even if somebody genuinely did want to spend the time to like explain things to a kid who is like just earnestly curious about something, that they might not like, you know, they maybe just don't have the bandwidth or the time to indulge stuff that is not really strictly on their like lesson plan, because of the stuff that they are having to check off, and also that like, you know, that sucks for both the teacher and the students. I think that is just kind of like a fact of life. Ooh, tacos. Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what I was saying with the like childhood sort of like curiosity as well as like neurodivergent sort of like curiosity, where like sometimes I saw like a reel about this the other day that actually I feel like is pretty relevant here, where like somebody who's neurodivergent might ask somebody why they do something in a certain way, or like why do you do it like that, or like why is this blah blah blah, and on their end they are like actually asking in a genuine way that they're like, you know, I'm just trying to understand the thought process behind this, and the neurotypical person is more likely to read that as kind of being like criticized as opposed to just like asking for more information, so then they'll get defensive because they're like, I know what I'm doing, you know, like I don't have to explain to you what I'm doing, and just that both people come away feeling like not great, but just that sort of disconnect, I think that sort of applies here. Okay. Yeah, it's hard because, as I said, like I think people who are suited for teaching and want to genuinely like connect with their students is like they're like, obviously I can't speak for education systems like everywhere, but I know from my experience of going through like Canadian schooling, you most kids are not like programmed to actually like learn and develop in a more like emotional way in our curriculums. We're more just about like information retention, long enough to like do a test on something and then move on. So like the hard answer is that it's like, well, you would have to have a teacher who could like teach in everyone's style, which is obviously not really feasible in our system. But you know, it's like, yeah, that is kind of true, because everybody is going to like have different like learning curves and things that they're going to click with faster, like be more interested in and stuff like that. And you can't do that in a system where everything just has to be like kind of cut and paste. I'll be somewhat honest, because like when I went from high school to college, we generally, the profs were like, call us by our first name, blah blah blah. Like, I find it kind of like uncomfortable if somebody who's kind of like, I'd be like, can I call you Mr./Mrs. blah blah blah? And if they're like, no, call me by my name, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Also, I feel like we would sometimes get called like a teacher might call me like Miss St-Onge, but yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm trying to remember. I feel like as a kid, I was kind of like a late bloomer in that like I feel like I was kind of old when I learned my parents' names, which probably not great for like safety reasons. But like that thing where you're like, your name's not mom, your name's not dad. I feel like that was kind of wild to me. That I was like, what the fuck? I did spend time drawing that hand. Yeah. feel like you guys are maybe not quite talking on the same wavelength here. Not in like a knowledge or blah 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 way, just I feel like you guys are sort of arguing different things. Yeah, I feel like you've kind of said your stuff, so I don't know. I'm like, I guess I don't specifically have an issue with doing like proper titles for people, but I don't know. It just kind of depends. Depends on the context of my dynamic with somebody, but yeah. Look, I will move on to drawing a butt so you guys can look at that. A butt on the subject college? No. I am somebody who is very judgy of age gaps. And I would argue that, I mean, it might not be illegal for a prof to date their student, but I would say it's kind of icky. Maybe if the prof was like quite young or they were like a TA, but like if they're outside of their like, if the kids are like early 20s and like a prof is like outside of their 20s and even like late 20s, I'd be like, yeah. As I said, I feel like I am especially judgy of that sort of thing. Because I don't want to say that never is it a younger guy and an older lady, but a lot of the times it is older guys getting young, barely 20 girlfriends who are also their students. And I don't love that. I think that's kind of stinky. Hey Miss Charlotte, how was your lesson? Did they show up? Good. From my experience / interaction with Corey, I think that they are somebody who likes to know the particulars of why something is, or like why you do something a certain way, and I think has not always been understood for why they are curious or just the kind of energy they are approaching that question with, but yeah. Stuck in traffic. Ugh. Is it, did you guys get stormed today, or is it just cuz? Oh, for construction. Well, hopefully your long drive is at least uneventful. Alright, I am gonna pull rank here and say let's switch topics. I don't want you guys getting stressed out, and I feel like we're getting stressed out, so let us talk about something else. I was just thinking, I'm like, do I have like any new cannibalism stories? Oh my god, you won't believe what I got done. Chocolate. I feel like I had a thing I was going to mention earlier. 5-minute emote only. We could do that. Could do that. Nobody of uncut is sauce's party cannibals. I'm going to say no, because the food characters that are being consumed are not humans. And they're not eating each other. So there you go. Yeah. Chocolate in the context of cannibalism. Just because of like people coming to indigenous people who did not want them there kind of thing, or like no cannibalism. But it's one of our topics we like to talk about. Just arrows. Oh, I see, yes. Well, or like obviously this is kind of what missionaries do. But I remember back during COVID, and there was like that one specific guy who's like, I'm gonna go and give the Bible to these people, and you know, he died because they told him to fuck off, and he didn't, and you know, they dealt with him in the way that they deal with people, I guess. But just like that, he went like during COVID, and it's like you're literally coming from a place that has like a quarantine going on, and like there's like a pandemic, and you're going to a place that probably has not been exposed to it, as well as like probably a lot of other stuff, and like to be like, oh well, I'm bringing them the word of God. It's like, how about you fuck off and go home? Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about what I would expect, Miss Charlotte. Yeah. I don't know. Some people are just like, it's free real estate. Yeah. I find it very amusing in a like just technology versus people sort of thing of like, I've heard stories of like people going to uncolonized places, or like places that the people are very isolated, with like drones and stuff like that, to just be like, we're just, well, just like camera drones, not like drones, but and the drones getting shot down with like arrows, and I don't know why, that's just very amusing to me. That's just like, haha, get wrecked. Super duper. I think it is cool to have a, like, to culturally respect an indigenous group's, like, right to their land and their privacy. No, I know. I guess it's more the thing of, like, because you're like, oh yeah, we have, like, so much technology, we're, like, so advanced, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, we send our big, fancy, like, flying things out there, and they just get shot down. That I can neither confirm or deny. That sounds kind of crazy, but perhaps. I mean, honestly, like, fair. Hey, Rosie, how you doing? Yeah. And people are just like, but why? Why can't we go see them and give them stuff and tell them how to do stuff? It's like, but you could not. Have you considered that? Hello, Rosie. How you doing? How's it going, Rosie? Me girl. Hi. Well, speaking as somebody who is descended from European colonizers, we sure do hate seeing people just doing a thing on their own. Hi. What's up, Rosie? Is the food bowl empty? Is that why you are up here? Also, Miss Charlotte can talk at length about linguistic things, so if you want to talk about that, this is the person to discuss it with. Do you mind? What are you? Oh, I see. Leave it alone. Oh, you, Rosie. That is not polite behavior. Rude. Hi, Fern. How you doing? Hi. You wanna come back up? Oi. ADD. Well, fair. That's me breathing down someone's neck. Hey. I think as far as that native language, I guess it is interesting to be like, how much does a language change and evolve in a linguistic vacuum, maybe. I don't know if I can call it that, but you know what I mean? Of like how much of like language evolution comes from kind of like learning new phrases and like concepts from like other languages and like borrowed word like vocabulary and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like if you have like a language and like a vocabulary that you're like, this is like good. This allows us to communicate about all the stuff that we care about and like we deal with. Yeah. Am I struggling to draw a hat? Maybe. To be fair, I often am struggling to draw a hat, so hats are hard. Mm-hmm. And like kind of in the same way of like how like accents evolve and like develop for different languages depending on like what kind of external accents are influencing things. Mm-hmm. There's a guy that has showed up on my like For You feed a few times that I think is interesting, where basically I think the ones I've seen of his videos are like him talking about the evolution of the etymology of like metals in like I guess sort of like Old English, but like like earlier than that, like Bronze Age and stuff, and being like, this is what we called it back then, and then this word and this word and this word, and sometimes the word would be like, yeah, I can see how we got here from that, and sometimes it's like, alrighty then. I think I sent you one of that guy's videos, Charlotte, and you were like, I've seen him. Are you gray? She's orange on the stream. Also, this is a question as somebody who is monolingual, and that language is English. Just talking about like especially like African languages. For somebody who is not a native English speaker, does picking up English have things that are like, I'm not even sure how to describe them. Well, like how in other languages there's like kind of like a lot of extra sounds that we don't use in English. Like, does English have stuff like that that other languages don't use that someone might be trying to learn it and be like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, the language of context. Well, because like as I said, I know that there's like a word for it, but like using like clicks as like punctuation or like a letter almost. R. Or I would say like our pronunciation of certain like letter combinations, whereas like other places will be like you have to like, this is like a very guttural thing that you have to do, or like kind of like rolling letters, I guess. I'm sorry, there's a button now. Bagel. That might just be me saying it for what it's worth. Don't blame all of Canada. Well, I know that this might be hard to believe, but my accent is the default neutral accent. I actually technically don't even have an accent. That's how that works, right? Bagel. Bagel. What accent exactly? I know, because even the like kind of like stereotypical Canadian accent that people will be like, oh yeah, Canadians talk like this. There are like parts of Canada, like if you go out east and stuff like that, you get kind of more of the like a boot accent, or like kind of mid, like Manitoba, I guess. But for the most part, like especially in Ontario, I feel like, I don't know. I guess it could be argued. Apparently, there's a Toronto accent. I don't know. If Fire is here, he can do his impression of Toronto, man. French Canada. Okay, that is true, but that's because it's a different language. Gel, like hair gel instead of gel, like Seagull. Gel. Oh, like a J versus a hard G. Krana. Trana. Trana. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I am generally glad that I didn't learn English as a second language, just because of like I know, like you were saying, we kind of are very loosey-goosey with our like rules. But Toronto, Toronto. I pronounce it like Toronto. Sure. I don't know. Her butt looks too covered. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I get kind of like stupidly annoyed at when people are like, "Oh yeah, you're Canadian, eh?" And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." And I won't even say sorry about it. That's another thing. Sorry, now we're going on Canadian rant here. That's another thing that I fucking hate, that people are like, oh, Canadians are so apologetic, they're so nice, blah blah blah. And I'm like, bro, the atrocities that we have historically committed on people is like, it's not cute, you know? Historically and in the present, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't like it. I guess sort of going back to that sentiment of like, just because somebody else might do something else bad, or like we don't do things as bad as this other nation, you know, I feel like it absolves us of responsibility for things that we do that is not great. So I don't like it. I am a Canadian. Y'all did shit. Yeah. I don't know. Well, then, like, we historically, I mean, our treatment of Canadian Indigenous people was kind of a big one. You know, just a little bit. And, like, because I feel like this is kind of a big one between, like, comparing the States and Canada, is like, Canada didn't never have slaves, you know? What did you do? I don't know. I guess I also think of it in the way of like, because I feel like as a white person, I am maybe not the best equipped to like name out all of the. Do you have a bag? But like I don't know, we have a lot of like systemic shit, and like our democracy is definitely very influenced by a corpo influence and stuff like that. You know. So just when people are like, "Oh yeah, Canada is so great," they're so like, I don't not even in that way of being like, "Oh, we're big guys. We're not a little nice guy. Don't say that." I'm more like, don't don't talk about Canada as a country like that, because we have done stuff and it erases the fact that we have things that we should feel bad about doing, you know. Yeah. So not so much we're a big guy, don't patronize us. It's more like do not absolve us of responsibility. Yeah. Well, and I will say that it's like there's things in like, you know, on one hand, I am very grateful that we have like socialized Medicare and stuff like that up here. You know, as a baseline thing, that is a good thing. However, I also believe that there's stuff in the like way that we do procedures and the way that we limit people's ability to get specialized care in a timely fashion, you know? Um, mm, you know, so it's like on one hand, us not having to like go into like bankruptcy to pay for being sick or having like a chronic condition, that's good. I I think it's good, but I also feel like that should sort of be a baseline. But the systems could still be a lot better and a lot more like uh just general safety net kind of stuff. I don't know. You're smelly. You can read it whenever you want. I was gonna say it's the internet, it'll be here, but maybe just don't leave it too long. Jeez. Of course they did. Oh yeah. Also for our politics are less right-leaning than like say the States, but you know, in the last few years especially, but like not just contained to recent politics, is like we have like a pretty strong right-wing like ideology in Canada as well. TLDR means too long didn't read. So kind of like to summarize, or the cliff notes. Also, I'm a too long didn't. Yes. I contain multitudes. Oh yeah, Miss Charlotte, is your computer still fucked up, or did you kind of sort out what was going on Monday? Let's do some fishnets. Sorry, Rosie. Multitudes of butts. I could contain more types of butts to draw. I will say that. Surprising for people. We had computers. I mean, Miss Charlotte is much older than me. Nanny. Quick, use Nanny to fuck. Yeah, no, we had, I would say that, like, for our generation, like, we were kind of just on the edge of having cell phones in high school as, like, a default. Which, honestly, is, like, I do not regret not having a cell phone in high school, because Lord knows my hyperfocus with phones is bad. Nani? Listen, those Macs, and I mean, I never had like a Mac because they were expensive and not really great for playing The Sims. But the like transparent like rainbow Macs, those are like, okay, I'm biased. I like anything like, I feel like you could sell me so many things by just being like, but look, it's in like a jelly purple color, and I'd be like, well, I could get that, I guess. So what did I have? I had like a big chunky PC. It would be like a tan one, with the big kind of like box monitor. That's fishy. Atomic purple. Yeah. Like I wanted the jungle green N64 so bad when I was like when I was younger. I just saw it in Nintendo Power and I was like, but we already had N64, and I think even at that age I could understand that that was a bit unreasonable to want a second console that was the same as one we already had because it was in a cooler color. Should have given white color. I mean, that would still have been like the like Game Boy. My sister had one that was like the jelly purple Game Boy. I feel like that's not what that thing was called, but that's what I'm calling it. Do I like these? Fine. But yes, the things that I would be swayed to buy in the year of our Lord 2025, if they were like that, like the vintage transparent plastic with different color options. People are leaving a lot of money on the table. All my money. I know, I would love to have a cell phone that was like that. Oh my goodness, big yawn. Big yawn for a tiny kitten. Yeah, I've seen that. And again, I've been very like, maybe I need. I know that I think fits the thing that I'm thinking of. It was like more of like a skin mod as opposed to like the system being done or doing something with the system, but I don't know. As much as I am somebody who uses the internet a lot all the time, I can appreciate looking back and being like, it was kind of nice when the internet lived in a specific place and you had to go somewhere to go on the internet. And then when you were done on the internet, you would log off and you would go off and do other stuff. Also, that every time you connected to the internet, it would make the sound of like hell opening. Robot hell. I think that was appropriate. I just realized that she does not have a head yet, and that is a little bit disturbing maybe. Well, or like the fact that you had to choose between going on your internet or using your phone line, which I feel like to somebody who didn't use the dial-up internet, that sounds insane. Something that I've been seeing lately that seems to be a trend with the youngins is like that they're getting cameras that are like digital cameras and like that's all they are. And I don't know, there's something kind of sweet, like kind of quaint about that, of being like, because I understand the appeal of having like tech that does a specific thing. even though it's convenient to have tech that does like wears a lot of different hats. I don't know. As I said, I think it's cute. And I would maybe get one. I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I don't spend the money on stuff like that, but yeah. Also, just remembering the cameras, the like digital camera only stuff that you can get now is, I would say, a bit cuter than the ones that we had when I was younger. Nothing was quite as cool as taking a mirror pic with your dorky silver metal like digital camera, being like, no wonder my like hands are so weirdly formed at this point. If you guys want to see my fingy ridge from holding my phone? Oh, let's see. Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay. Needless to say, it's pretty bad. And I feel like you can't see it in this lighting. It's definitely like, what? So now I want to like find a picture of my like childhood computer room, because that was another thing that we had. Also, my horns have held on pretty good. They haven't fallen off yet. I realize that with the how my thing is cropped, you can't see them, but just know that they're there. Gotta hand it to me. Yes. I don't know what you're handing to me, but actually, wait. Maybe I shouldn't just blindly take things being handed to me. You are on my keyboard. Me leaning forward to look at my keyboard is because Rosie is making it hard for me to just do touch typing. She's like, yeah. Sometimes I do that. goodness, Rosie. Oh, Rosie, you are on my keyboard. Thank you. And let me just shift a little bit. There you go. Down. Lay down. It's okay, baby girl. There's room for you. Just lay in the neutral zone. Yeah, go lay there. Thank you. Rosie is large and in charge, although I don't know how much she actually like consciously thinks about that. I think she is just a woman of instinct. And sometimes that instinct is laying on my tablet. Hi. Okay, baby. Okay. Oh. Why you gotta be like that? This is for that private dance miniseries I'm doing that I drew this lady for. This fat bottom girl. You can try this. Which is a mischievous one. I would say maybe Rosie, but again, I don't know how much of it is like intentional and how much of it is just like her natural state of being. Also, this music is kind of lulling me a little bit. I feel like I need something more upbeat. Oh, isn't that the Vangabus song? Gosh, a poodle snuggling. That sounds like a good place to be. I have some like cheesy tomatoey tortellini for dinner that I made last night. So I'm looking forward to not having to cook. Would you like me to share the picture of the class, Miss Charlotte? Of Poodle Snuggle? Yes, okay, 1 second. Everyone must know. Here